So welcome everybody to Unlocking the Power of Leopard Prowess. My name is Katherine Byrnes. I'm the Director of Client Experience here with Leopard Solutions. And of course, I'm here with our erstwhile leader, Laura Leopard, founder of Leopard Solutions. And between the two of us, we'll be taking you through our brand new platform, the data that you know and love, presented in a new way to serve a particular market. So with that, Laura, kick us off.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, this idea came to us quite recently, and we've been talking to people, working in-house for a long time. I mean, sometimes it would come to us because they wanted to recruit people from a law firm to go into in-house, and we would just start talking about how they do their job and what they need to do their job. And then we really determined they needed our help because they were a little behind the times in how they looked for outside counsel. And the great thing about it is that this Leopard Prowess is an enterprise product because it has things for law firms and it has things for in-house counsel. When we talked to in-house counsel, we learned that they really were using inefficient means to go find law firms or attorneys to hire to help them with, multiple cases that they had going on throughout the country. They really relied on Excel spreadsheets, for instance, and calling friends for referrals. And it was a very frustrating process. Sometimes they wouldn't get a call back, and they were calling about areas where no one knew anyone. So they really didn't have a good system. And the more panels that they managed, the less they really diverged from a usual pattern. They would just tend to use the same firms over and over, not really realizing that there was other legal talent in that area or in that practice where they were looking for help, because it was just easier to do it that way. So they also lacked a really good way to measure attorneys that they liked, and firms that they liked for future use. When you're using Excel spreadsheets and emails going back and forth about, recommendations and where those are housed and how they find them, they really didn't have a good way to collaborate on that. And Prowess can really help these legal departments sort of centralize this data. It helps them better collaborate with their team and make better data-driven decisions, as well, in some instances, control costs. So as firms change and as they open new offices, as they grow depth in new practices, they really go unnoticed by these corporations who are simply unaware of all the changes in the legal marketplace. So if they're relying on the same firms over and over, they don't know that your firm has opened a new office in this area that they're looking for help in. They don't know that you've hired a really powerful attorney in a practice that they desperately need help in. They just don't know what they don't know. So what this platform is going to do is to help bubble different law firms to the surface, or the same law firm with new talent, or brand new offices that recently opened in their area that they're completely unaware of. So it's really going to open that aperture of the available talent that they have in the legal marketplace, not only in the US, but of course abroad as well. And firms can really differentiate themselves because we are allowing firms to put in some curated bios, and these bios will appear on the Firmscape report because they're going to see the Firmscape report right within this platform. You're also going to be able to list what alternative fee agreements that you accept. This is something that's become very, very important to in-house counsel. Now, you might have seen, an article that we recently put out, and there was also a survey that we did of in-house counsel. They do expect to spend more money on outside counsel this year. Even though they're spending more money, they really want to see more alternative fee, arrangements available from different law firms that can sort of set you apart. And also attorney rates. They also want attorney rates before they reach out, to any particular law firm. Now, we have made a platform where law firms can go in and they can assign attorney rates. They also can enter in any alternative fee agreements that they might offer, even if it's just on a limited basis. While that's not available in the platform now, when we have enough of that data, we're going to make those searchable fields for in-house counsel because it's something that they say is very important to them. So this is a way for firms to really have a spotlight shine on them where they would have been missed by these in-house counsels and with the current way that they do their research and they look for outside counsel. This is really opening up that wide picture so they get to see all the available legal talent. Now, some of these are managing 4,000 cases a year if you're talking about an insurance company. There's lots of opportunity for large, mid-sized, small firms to really get on the radar of in-house counsel. Right now, we have it's either 13 or 14 very large corporations using Prowess. And we are offering it to corporations right now for free until the end of November. So it's a good time to join and to really get your information in there so that you are going to appear in front of these outside counsels and they're really going to be able to see the talent that you have to offer, what price range they might pay at your firm, and if you offer those alternative fee agreements. So now I'm going to turn it over to Kath, and she's going to walk you through what corporations will be seeing when they use the platform.
Thank you. So I'm going to be in the live product, which is, extreme webinaring, but everyone knows me that I'm always doing it that way. For anybody who is a corporate client that's purchasing the Prowess, it'll be sitting right in here, and we've got the 4 different options. Those that have already set up panels will be able to come in here, and this is really where they'll be able to curate and manage their own options and get off those Excel spreadsheets. But to begin, they'll be wanting to search for firms and attorneys. So I'll click in here. And this is also, right now we've got, individual firms and of course, locations, particular practice areas and specialties, even firm size. We'll come back to connections here in a moment, but this will also be where we will be able to search fee agreements, fee arrangements and billing rates. This will just be tucked in right here. So as an example, right, just as our other tools work, I start typing in a location and it pops up here. And these are really, again, based on where we collect our data, we're reading the individual attorney bios and that's surfacing up here to give you overall firm information. So if I was looking for an insurance defense firm in Baton Rouge, as an example, I click search here, and it's very quickly bringing up firms that have attorneys that work in that practice area. So here we have all the things you'd expect. You can export this to Excel and save your search. We'll be adding to these to a panel in a moment. We got the firm, the location, and then we've got the listing of how many partners or associates are really specifically doing this work of litigation insurance in Baton Rouge. We're also surfacing our probability index diversity information. So our diversity information, as many of our regular users know, is not self-reported by the firms. It's based on our own reading of the bio and many data points that go into a very careful reading of that diversity information. The engagement status, are there any firms here? I think I have some firms where I've got them in, we'll touch on that in the manage panels when I'm seeing, have I already approved one of these firms to work with in a previous panel? Or have I already got some in due diligence that I'm checking? And then even down here, I can take a look at, let's see, Butler Snow. I am logged in here as if I am already a company. I'm pretending in this case that I am Bank of America. And I'll jump in here in a moment and we can see that there are 2 attorneys at my organization that already know someone at Butler Snow. So I can start doing my due diligence using real contacts. And, whereas we've spoken to these firms or these organizations at the moment, and they're kind of calling and hoping for a callback. That's an open question. Who can do this? They can now reach out to someone specifically and say, I believe that your firm does this. What more information can you give me? But as I tick into some of these firms I may not be as familiar with. So of course I can click in and see something like our Firmscape report as I click on the firm name. And I think this is going to be really great right here is where you should be able to give some information. If you're submitting your personalized information to the firm, here's where you can start to differentiate yourself, that the corporations will be able to see this. As you can see, this is more about when we've added the firm, there's various different biographical information here, but you'll be able to take control of that information as Leopard subscribers. And I really think that the Leopard Firm Index, I know that recruiters have been using this already, right? This is information based on the kinds of things that we track. So is the firm growing or declining? How strong is the diversity at the firm, whether that's ethnic diversity or percentage of women partners? We're talking about tenure and stability. So if you've got attorneys that have been there for a long time, if you're hiring attorneys and they're staying, we're trying to get into the culture of the firm and get beyond financials to how well a firm is doing. I really like the Leopard Firm Index because you can be good or very good even as a small firm, right? It's
That's right.
really, yeah, you can get some great information. And of course, it's based on our own information, which updates twice a week. So if the underlying data changes enough, these numbers change week to week to week. So it's a really dynamic way of that people can start looking at firms.
That's right. And it's important for in-house counsel to see this as well, to see where these firms sit on the index. So it's not a ranking that they assign the firm, it's a ranking that we assign to really show the health of the firm. And I think that'll be something they'll be very interested in.
For sure. And as we come down here, right, they're able to see this is where they can start to surface any recent lateral hires we see there in the current status codes. We're really surfacing that gender and ethnic probability and how diverse the firm is, both in the firm overall and their partnership diversity. And then just other practice areas we'll be showing you in another iteration, just even the weight of, right, they've got a certain number of litigation attorneys. How does that compare with the rest of the firm? But you can even jump right in here and see what are they generally focused on. And as we come further down, we can see their firm offices and where else they are, all a Louisiana-based firm. Much more information in here. I think a lot of people are familiar with our Firmscape reports as we come down here, but again, highlighting where they're hiring from, any lateral hires. We, of course, have our projected financials for non-am law reporting firms, where we've got an algorithm underneath that based on many different factors to predict possibly where their financials are. Where are they hiring from in terms of schools? Who are their likely competitors? You can also take a look right here and see what their Firmscape report's looking like and how they're going with their retention rates on their associates. Are they growing or declining year over year? Have they opened any offices lately? And so on. So there's a lot of information right there. But what I really like about this, and I actually missed this when we very first launched it, Laura had to show me that it was here. I love that we can dig in even just on this cohort here, right? So if I'm looking at Butler Snow, we have 4 partners and 2 associates. They're doing litigation insurance in Baton Rouge. And if I click here, I'm now just looking at that cohort. So I was looking at the entire firm. Now I'm looking at these 6 specific attorneys. How experienced are they? No one with less than 5 years experience, and that's overall, right? Since their JD year, we've got their financials here, of course. And then the cultural breakdown specifically of this group, just drawing attention again to their likely diversity, whether that's gender diversity or ethnic diversity. We're showing you whether they went to top 10, top 20 schools, and also their relative JD year. So we've specifically searched for insurance specialty, but of course, most of our attorneys have more than one specialty. We have over 200 of those. And so you can see, okay, yes, we've got insurance litigators here. Here are the other things that they're focused on so that you can also get a sense of what is that team doing across the board, not even just in one area, but we can see that they're definitely weighted to what we're looking for here. And then just a curious connection, we'll dive into more of the connections in a moment, but here we're saying, do these attorneys know other people at corporations? So as I look in here, we're seeing that there's some likelihood that attorneys at this firm, these 6 attorneys that we're talking about, know people at these corporations. So now we start to get into who do you know? And who can you reach out to get some advice? Have they already done work with these? So let's jump into those connections. Let me come back to our primary connections. And as I come here, so I've got my Butler Snow group and I'm seeing here these firm connections. If I click on this number 2, it's going to take me directly and show me. So as I said, I'm pretending that I'm Bank of America here, and I can see that my associate general counsel actually is connected to Shelley Coleman. She's a partner, and they used to work together at Hendrick Gardner in Charlotte for 2 years. in the litigation practice area. Because there was so many tight connections there, we think that's a pretty high chance they know each other personally, same location, same practice area. And we're able to, our data is going back nearly 20 years. So we have a lot of history that can't really be replicated anywhere else, because we know where these people were. We were building this brick by brick at the time. It's really based on real data of where people were because we were looking at it at the time. This one's fun. They actually went to the same law school, graduated within a couple of years of each other, as well as both worked at Cleary Gottlieb in New York. So this is one way that you can now use your own associate general counsel to potentially reach out to these attorneys at Butler Snow, get some insider information. And that's true of that previous connection report as well. If you know people at those other companies, dig in and see who do I know and how we can make those connections.
That's right. It's sort of an upgraded version of how they do things now, where they're calling for references. And does anybody know anybody? We can actually show them, two people at your company know people in this law firm. So they would do that outreach, initial outreach.
That's right. So a lot of law firms have been using these connection reports in the other direction, right? And so
Yeah.
now we're just tying that loop so they can now find the law firms. And that's what we really wanted to be able to bring this information out to everybody. So now that I've reviewed some of these firms, I might want to add some to my information. So I took a look at Butler Snow, so I can click my add to panel. I do have some existing panels in here, but this is a brand new one. So I'm going to create my Baton Rouge insurance panel. Oops, and I'll save that. Keep adding them, and then I can look at other ones down here. The other option we have here, of course, is to search by the specific attorneys to really zero in on a particular attorney that might have the experience that you need. And then from there, take a look at the firm that they work at. So it's really easy. It actually keeps the search running. If I just flip over to search for attorney, right? So I've got all the same options, and it's starting to search already to see the individual attorneys that we have, pulling those through from the Leopard list. I've got a lot of detail right here. On the left-hand side, this is the actual bio that's on their attorney website. And then we've read that bio, believe it or not, and then actually used what we've read to code this over here. And that's really what builds everything in our database. And everything in here is getting updated twice a week. So you've got a really up-to-date information. So if I said, all right, I really want to zero in on a partner, right? Maybe I only want to show firms where I have the connection, so I can look at it that way. I can look by law school, languages. Maybe I want to make sure that they're admitted in Louisiana, if that's where my matter is going to be. You can even search the individual keyword to get really specific. So I need someone who's got experience with the architect, with architects insurance, whatever that might be. I'll click search here. Right, my keyword is popping up here, and I've got attorneys that match my criteria. So here, as I'm reading this bio, this is really exactly the kind of person I'm looking for. I'm just going to add this attorney to the panel. It will add the entire firm so that I can then review that once I'm in my manage panels. Cool. I'm going to jump across to my manage panels now, but I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to mention there, Laura, before I do.
No, I think it's great, and being able to search by individual attorneys, that they love that, but they also told us what they were looking for are groups. So that's why when they search by firm, we're really just focusing in on that group that they're looking to hire. And the blend of how many partners and how many associates is also important to them. Of course, they don't have to hire the whole group if it's 25 people, 5 people. They're looking for experts in the field. That's what they're looking for. And that's what we're trying to deliver the way that we're presenting this data.
That's right. So you can see, I've just run a different kind of search here. Obviously, we know that Inside Counsel is looking for litigators, but they're also looking for people to help them with their day-to-day, structures and matters and things like that. So all of that is searchable in here. And so if I come across now to manage my panels, there's a few I've created earlier here, of course, and right now I've only got 4 in here. You may have hundreds by the time you're done with different buildings. So we've made sure that you can search across those, right? Where is my one that I built for Baton Rouge? I can take a look in here, right? So I can just find it that way. Or I can even search for an engagement status. Who have I already approved, for example, and click search in here. But once we're diving in to these actual reports, here's one I repaired earlier, for example. When I click on this firm name, everything I'm looking at now is user generated, right? So the in-house counsel has come in here. Who's my internal team? I can add this and remind myself who it is, add contact information, even contacts down here. And then who am I working with at Martinson? Put that information in here. And then as I come in here to add the specific people I want to work at, it's going to assume that we're looking in the group you've already searched. You can show all the attorneys at the firm if you want to, but as you find out who's on your team, or if you're specifically looking to add particular people to the team, you can add those to here and keep track of that information. Now we're seeing ratings right here. This is user generated as well. And I have a matter down here, discrimination matter. This was a discrimination grouping. So I've already made some ratings. These are my personal ratings. No one else can see these. And that is rolled up to an average rating. So if Laura and I worked at the same company and Laura logged in and she was also working, she'd have her own ratings that would keep rolling up to an average rating for this particular case, which would gradually roll up to an average rating for this firm. And we will have these attorneys linked to the particular matters as well. So there's a lot of flexibility in here. And everything we're doing here is just for the company to be able to see it. This is for the company to manage their own work. So no fear that it's going to become outside of that element. We just want the firms to be able to manage themselves and communicate amongst themselves as well, the companies. We can even be more granular with this. I think we got really excited. We've got even more information if you come in here, and you can come and create, extra line items. You can remove some, you can add some, right? As always, we've just got a lot of options and customizations and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, this is just to allow them to create a rating that's important to them, because not everything is one size fits all. So there are certain things that they may care about at this company that they don't at others. You can have a lot of ratings, you can have a small number of ratings. We're really just trying to make it very easy, so all of the people on the in-house counsel team will actually come in and rate, either attorneys or the firm on their work, which gives that company more information going forward.
That's right. And
Yeah.
here's your engagement status. So as you're reading those bios, reading the information, looking for an RFP, you can let know for this particular matter or this particular kind of work whether they're approved or not. And I
Yeah.
also like from here, I can then just quickly, I've created a firm panel. I can dive around in my firm panel and go side by side. Here's one that I have not prepared earlier, right? Blank slate for the organizations to add their information to.
Yeah. So some of these these are sort of like the pre-grouping. These are the firms that they're shopping to hire. We will be adding new features to this. I mean, nothing's ever done. So this is just our first foray into developing this product. First of all, so much better than an Excel spreadsheet, so much better. And it's going to have so much more functionality than it does right now. But when in-house counsel sees it, they're all kind of blown away. They really want to find attorneys, and sometimes in far-flung locations. And that's one of the challenges that they have. So they want to find, they really want to know billing rates. They want to know what alternative fee agreements, that firms offer, because all of that's important to them. So now we're coming to part two. So this is the law firm portion. And I just want to reiterate again that these billing rates and the alternative fee agreements will not be shared with recruiters or other firms. This is going to be solely within this platform for the use of corporations. And that's the be all end all, right? We want these corporations to use it, to find the perfect counsel for them for their outside matters. So if I am a law firm, and if you are currently a Leopard Solutions client and you're already enrolled in the system, all you have to do is go to the Leopard Prowess and you'll see a button that says Manage Rates. If you are not a Leopard Solutions client, then you have to let us know that you want to be part of Prowess. We will send you a special link, which will get you in behind the firewall, and you will be able to enter this section, which is our user dashboard. And while you're here, you can look at our hotspot news. That's free to everyone. There's also a recruiter directory. There's some law firm profiles. There's some things that you get for free just for signing up, getting behind the firewall. But you're really here for this, which is to become part of Leopard Prowess. So if I click that button, I enter the firm portal. Now, if you recall, if I was a corporation, I would get the whole platform. But as a law firm, this is all I'm going to see. I'm able to come in. If I'm already, a Leopard client, some of this is going to be filled out for me. So I have the firm name, the contact name at the firm, the email address, the phone number, and then you can save that information and move to the next. The next is a rate card. There are some small firms that, generally charge the same attorney per level. Like our junior associates are only, $300 to $400 an hour. I say only. You can enter an average rate or you can enter a range. So you have a minimum and a maximum. It's really up to you and how you want to enter this data. So this would be by tiers. If, like most firms, all of your attorney rates are different, attorney by attorney by attorney, we have another section for you. Our fee agreement page is this is all up to you to add. You can add a service description. If it's a simple bankruptcy, the flat fee is $5,000. If it's a trademark registration, the flat fee is $2,000. Retainer, a contingency. So you have the type of case, all the different items you need to put in there, hybrid fee, a subscription-based fee, a capped fee, and even other. So you're able to enter some information in there. If you don't offer any alternative fee agreements, you can just leave that section blank. It is something that the in-house companies are looking for. So we encourage you to put any in that you accept at your law firm. If you have problems with any of this or filling any of this out, we're here to help. You can just shoot us an email and let us know that you need assistance. So attorney rates. If I want to add an attorney, now remember, once we send you a link, we sort of know who you are. You are in our Leopard system, right? So if I want to add an attorney rate, this is pulling up the attorneys and quote unquote, my law firm. So I can add the attorneys where I want to add an attorney rate. Click add. They're going to show up here right on my console. I can add it by range. I can add it by average. Now, for a smaller firm, this is pretty simple, right? You can go in and just add your 15, 20, 25 people and then put in their rate adjustment. If you are a large firm, we're not going to put you through that. We really want you to be able just to bulk import this data. So you can just contact us here. We will send you a pre-formatted spreadsheet of all of your attorneys. All you have to do is enter in those attorney rates, send it back, and we will upload it into the system. And you will be able to come in and look at this at any time and adjust it as needed. As rates change, and sometimes they change, relatively often, you would just log in, come back to the attorney rates and make whatever adjustments you need to make. If someone has left your firm, then you can just delete them right from there and they would be removed and they would no longer be displaying. So very easy to do. Small firm, this is a great way to do it. Just go in and add the attorneys. And you may not want to put the rates on every attorney at your firm. That's totally fine. But add what you feel comfortable adding, put it in the range, put in the average, and then, we would ask that you maintain it. So if you are raising rates every month, you can skip a month or two. As long as you're in the ballpark, I think that's fine. But we are here to help you with bulk uploads and with any sort of technical issues that you might experience. Now, we talked about the firm biography. So when I click this button, I'm able to go in. You can name it. You can name the biography and you can enter your biography here. We are toying with the idea of letting you put in multiple biographies. That means if they search for litigation attorneys, You can have a bio that's really tilted toward litigation appear. If they're searching for labor and employment attorneys, you can have a bio that's tilted toward labor and employment appear. That's something that we're going to be working on in the future. This is a truly enterprise platform because we can see it aiding law firms and it's aiding in-house counsel make that better marriage for different matters down the road. There will be enhancements. There will be opportunities for you to enhance not only your bios, but even your attorney bios by listing matters and such. So we have a lot of work to do, and we have a lot of things on the board to add to the platform. But right now we are in beta, and we are talking and listening and figuring out what are the next most important things to add to the system. But right now, for those corporations that are in there searching today, we think it would be a great idea for law firms to begin coming in, putting in their rate data, their fee agreement data, their firm biography that will help you appear, much more attractive as they're in there doing searches on the platform. We are really excited about this. Uh, there truly is a need in the industry for it, considering that they really don't have a set of tools that they're using now in most cases. Uh, One of their pain points is trying to find attorneys in smaller locations. So that Baton Rouge search or Carbondale, Illinois, and you've got railroad companies, you've got insurance companies, you've got all kinds of big companies that are constantly looking for help and they don't know where to go to find it. They can turn to Google, they can turn to their friends because they really sort of like that referral aspect. So being able to go into this platform and look at a firm history, look at an attorney history, and then even see connections between their company and the law firm is incredibly important to them. And it gives them that level of comfort as they're choosing that law firm that they want to use for an important matter to them. So we're very excited about the prospect of really helping in-house counsel make great data-driven decisions to find the best outside counsel that they can for their matter. And we're really also excited about being able to help law firms be found by these corporations by just opening up that aperture and letting them know who is available in the area that they're looking for. So making sure your attorney bios are up to date. I have seen law firm websites with very old bios with some old verbiage on them. This is where we take our data. So keeping all of that up to date is really important. And also keeping those rates up to date as best you can, also important, but we're really sort of taking the extra step and making it less painful for you by giving you that spreadsheet you can use or just, preloading in all of those attorneys so you can go in and make that selection. If you are a law firm that is not in our database, you can contact us and we will get you into our database so that you can participate in Prowess. So we are really here to help this marriage work. And I thank you so much for showing up today. And I thank you so much for your interest in Leopard Prowess. And if you would like to go in and begin putting your data in, let us know if you need some assistance. But it's pretty easy and it's pretty self-explanatory. We tried to keep this as simple as possible. But if you need help, we are certainly here to help. Let's see if there are. Anyone have any questions? Not so
There was
far.
a couple, yeah. So just a general curiosity about how many corporate clients we have in there at the moment. I think, we unveiled this. It was only 2 weeks ago at ACC. That's the Association of Corporate Counsel. I know
Yeah,
you were there, Laura. You had a lot of conversations with people.
we did. We did. And from ACC, we had, I think, about 80 signups to come in. We're getting them in slowly into the demo. I think we have about 14 or 15 live now. So they're in there searching today. So, but we expect a big turnout because right now it is free until the end of November. And this will always be free for Leopard Solutions clients and for SharePoint clients. Those two will always be free in the law firm section, but it's going to be free for everybody right now for a period of time.
Right. And someone was just mentioning about getting their firm added to the database. So our database is built from us choosing which firms to track. We have over 5,500 firms we track right now. I'm sure that'll be 6,000 by the end of the year, primarily business to business firms. And then we are adding those individual attorneys based on the buyer reading. Patty, I think you asked that. Just reach out to our Leopard support at SharePoint.com. We often add firms based on client suggestions. So once we add a firm, then you can search that firm in Leopard List, in Firmscape, in Leopard BI, as well as in this platform to be viewed. So we can reach out to you and make sure that that's done. But this is not a cost to law firms. Law firms, if you're a subscriber, you get everything that you've already been using with us, plus you can add your information in here. And if you're a subscriber, you'll be able to add your specific rate cards and things like that. But we'd also like to be able to track your firm and make sure we have all of your attorney information in there as well.
Yep, so sorry. Suffering from a cold, so pardon me. Well, thanks, everybody.
They got you there right at the end. So yeah, I've just popped that in the chat. So there's also a link to the leopardsolutions.com/leopard-prowess that's sitting in the chat as well. So you can get more information from our landing page there. And again, the Leopard support at SharePoint.com. If you're a law firm subscriber, you'll log in, you'll say, okay, now I know why that Leopard Prowess button has been there for 2 weeks, and I can click on the manage rates and see all that information. And of course, as Laura mentioned, if you've got more that can be easily managed directly, you've got the link to reach out to us so we can put that information in. It's currently not searchable in the beta product, but it will be. Obviously, we're kind of balancing getting people in there to use it from the corporation side. And then once we know we've got a lot of eyes on it, then we know you want to give us the information. So we're looking at that balance, and we're looking forward to being able to release that code of the fee arrangements and the billing rates so that people can do those searches as well. So looking forward to working with you all on that.
Yeah. All right, contact us if you have any questions. And thanks so much for joining. Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.